Back again with a book haul, okay? Not as bad as it sounds. I know I'm said I wasn't going to be buying that many books, but a lot of these came from the little free library in my defense. Plus, it was just my birthday and my mom gave me $100 and I used it to buy the whole box set of the Dark Tower series by Stephen King. So yeah, I am excited about this. Very excited. I've had my eye on this box set for a year, and I decided since my mom gave me $100, I was going to use it to buy that set. So that's what I did. Very excited to read that. I don't think I ever finished that series. If I finished it, I don't remember finishing it. The only thing I can really remember is reading the first 3. So I may have not have finished it. I'm not sure. But I'm going to start from the beginning and reread the whole thing regardless. So, okay, now my next books came from the Little Free Library. And I was very excited because I don't have a lot of luck at Little Free Libraries. But I went out this one day to check the Little Free Libraries. And I'm not kidding. I came home with 4 books from the Little Free Library in one day. I couldn't believe it. I was shocked. I'm always putting books in the Little Free Library and then I never take them home. So I was really, really thrilled. The first one is this beautiful, look at this thing, beautiful, absolutely beautiful book. Look at the edges, the gold edges, absolutely beautiful. Perfect condition. Look at the end papers, beautiful, just perfect condition. Look at these pages. There's even red. Can you see the, oops, can you see the red printing in here? And this looks like an old book to me. Let's see, when was this thing published? Does we have a publishing year? Oh, it's not that old. 1982, so not that old. But wow, this is a beautiful, beautiful book. Just gorgeous. And I've never even heard of it. It's called Gargantua and Pantagruel. And the author is Francos Rebellius. I looked this up so I'd know how to pronounce it, and look how long I remembered it. About 5 seconds and it went straight out of my head. Anyway, there's the author right there. Rebellius, I think is what it was. Maybe it was Rebellius. We're going to go with that. So Francos Rebellius. Well, I looked it up while I was standing at the Little Free Library because I had no idea what this was about. I just knew the book was really beautiful and it was clearly a classic. So if it sounded interesting, then I was going to take it home, and I did. And it's about a giant and his son. And apparently the book is humorous and it's satirical. And in its day, it was very controversial. Apparently there was some stigma attached to it about it being obscene. So I'm like, oh, I need to read that book. so yeah, I'm all about reading that. And then the other book I found was this other beautiful old edition, The Writings of Anatole France. And I'm not familiar with him either, so I looked him up. And this is a collection of short stories by him. And this is definitely an old book. It's got the look of an old book and the feel of an old book. Oh, 1931, definitely an old book. But yeah, it needs to be cleaned up. See, it's pretty dirty on the edges, but I can clean that up. It'll be fine. So yeah, I'm interested in reading this. It'll probably be a while before I get to it because I'm not super interested in it. But because I've never read him before, I definitely want to give him a try. The next book I found, I couldn't believe it. This has to be one of the first printings of this book. It's Cujo by Stephen King. Now, look at this dust jacket. The dust jacket is really, really beat up. But oh, look how young Stephen King is here. But it's not terrible. I'm going to clean it up and, tape up these edges and stuff. But the book itself is in good condition. So the book itself is fine. Nothing wrong with the book. So, and it doesn't have a publication year in it, I don't think. Did I look this up? No, I can't remember. Now I have to look. Oh, yes, I did. 1981. And it says it's a book club edition on here. So I don't know what, yeah, right there. Book club edition, but it doesn't say what book club. So I don't know if it was a specific book club or if it was made for book clubs in general and then sent out to all of them, perhaps. I'm not really sure, but I've never read Cujo. I'm very excited to read it, and I was very glad that I found that edition in a Little Free Library. The other book I found in a little free library is a volume of The Complete Tales of Henry James. I have also not read him, or at least not that I recall. I may have. Sometimes I don't think I've read a particular classic author, and then I sit down and read some of the stuff and I realize I have indeed read it. So I don't remember a lot of stuff that I've read over the years. I've forgotten a lot of it. So this is apparently a series, and this is volume 8. This was the only volume they had in the little free library, so I was disappointed there wasn't more of them. But what are you going to do? It's okay. Oh, this is the collection of short stories. What am I thinking? The other one looks like it's got 4 stories in it, so I would think those are novels. The Anatole France book is what I mean. And then this one is the collection of short stories. So yeah, I'm looking forward to giving him a try too. So I got all the way through my book haul and realized I skipped right over a book. I picked up Clan of the Cave Bear by Jean M. All, maybe is her last name? All, I think. Anyways, this is, I believe, a series of books, and it says Earth's Children at the bottom, so I'm pretty sure it is. This book I got at the, at the Salvation Army store of all places. I paid $1 for it. I was thrilled. I never read it. I saw the movie with Daryl Hannah when I was really young. I want to say that I was in elementary school when I saw that, but I might have been older. But either way, I was young. I was definitely in school somewhere before high school. And I absolutely loved the movie. So I've always wanted to read the book. I never did get around to it. I saw this there. I picked it up. I had to have it. And it's in excellent condition. Got a little map on the inside cover. That's always a plus. So yeah, I can't wait to read this. Really looking forward to it. Now these next books were purchases. I picked up Foucault's Pendulum by Umberto Eco. And I'm not familiar with this book, but I saw Steve Donahue talking about it on his channel. He's participating in a read-along. Apparently there's another YouTuber whose name I have since forgotten, and it's his favorite book, and so he's hosting a read-along. So I have not read it. I didn't know anything about it, and so I was like, well, I'm going to read that. I'm not participating in the read-along, but I do want to read it at some point. And I didn't want to get too far into it. Because I like to go in being blind as possible when I can. But from what I can gather from what I read of the inside cover, it's about a soldier, like a retired colonel perhaps, and he finds out about some kind of conspiracy type situation, sort of like what was that movie called with that's based on a Dan Brown book where they're after the Cup of Christ. That story, it's something like that. There's some kind of power or something that he figures out how to get to, or he's on the trail of how to get to it. And then these 2 other gentlemen, I think they're editors of some kind, and that they write books about crazy theories and stuff. They decide to take this on, and apparently they find the power, and then people start disappearing. So maybe it's real, maybe it's not. I'm not really sure. But that's all that I could gather from glancing over the synopsis on the inside cover. Like I said, I didn't want to get too far into it because I just want to kind of be surprised because it seems like it's going to be a really good book. So I don't want to know too much. And then this one is actually a sequel to a duology called Tales of the End Times. The first one, I can't remember. The Queen's Daughter or something like that. But anyways, it's YA, young adult, and it's a demon love story. And I haven't read them yet. I bought the first one when I had decided I was going to try to explore some YA, but I have since decided YA is just not for me. I just can't. I'm just not a YA reader, but this still does sound interesting. And I did flip through the first one and read paragraphs here and there. So I think I might like it. So I just went ahead and picked up the sequel. Worst case scenario, I just put it in a little free library. No big deal. And then this book was actually written by a YouTuber, not a booktuber. I am not familiar with this YouTuber. My son is a fan, watches his videos. His name is Shad M. Brooks, and his book is called Shadow of the Conqueror, and it's a fantasy. My son says it's kind of like a steampunk type fantasy. And the Chronicles of Everfall. Apparently it's going to be a series. But I bought this for my son, and I bought a copy for myself so I could read it with him. He's about halfway through it. I haven't started it yet, but he reads significantly slower than I, so I'm not worried. Let's see. The next book I got was Comfort Food by Kitty Thomas. I have read this book. I read it in the Kindle format. It's extremely disturbing. It is erotica, but it's not a love story. It's a kidnapping, brainwashing story that is rather disturbing. But I really liked the mental aspect that takes place in here. The breakdown of this girl's mind. I really liked it, and so I wanted to have a hardcover copy of it, a hardback edition. Let me just go with that of this because I do want to reread it. And then I got a second book by Kitty Thomas that I've also read, another erotica. This one is even way more disturbing than Comfort Food. And this one, the girl is kidnapped and held prisoner. Well, I guess they're both kidnapped and held prisoner stories. But in both cases, the women are brainwashed and manipulated and terrorized into accepting their situations. And they both play out just a little bit differently, but it's a similar situation. And they're both very disturbing, and they sent me down a path of thought I never thought I would be thinking about. And so my plan is to reread these and do a video about them because I found them so compelling. So anyways, yeah, we'll talk more about those in a future video. And then I found this one on Steve Donahue's channel also, The Old Arcadia by Sir Philip Sidney. There are two versions of this. I picked up the original version, which apparently was not the first one published. It was published later, but it was the original version that was written. So I have that, and I'm going to read this, and then I may go back and pick up the other version as well and read it. I don't know. We'll see how this goes. But it is, I'll just read a little bit of the synopsis here. The Old Arcadia tells a romantic story in a manner comparable to that of Shakespeare's early comedies. Two young princes, Pyrocles and Musidorus, disguise themselves as an Amazon and a shepherd to gain access to the Arcadian princesses who have been taken into semi-imprisonment by their father to avoid the dangers foretold by an oracle. Okay, so yeah, so that sounds interesting, and I plan to read that. And then the last book I got is The Necrophiliac by Gabrielle Whitcop, and the translator is Don Bapst. I had never heard of this. I don't really know what it's about because I couldn't find a lot of information about this. Not that I really looked particularly hard, because what I was looking for was a brief synopsis. And what's on the back of the book was the best I could get, which is fine because it's a really short book. So I think if you say too much, it's going to be spoiled, and I don't want that. But let me just read you one little paragraph from the back of the book. Like the best writings of Edgar Allan Poe or Baudelaire, Whitcop's prose goes far beyond mere Gothic horror to explore the melancholy and the loneliest depths of the human condition, forcing readers to confront their own mortality with an unprecedented intimacy. So, yeah, I'm having, that definitely gives you an Edgar Allan Poe vibe. I'm having Nevermore running through my head when I'm reading that description. So I will definitely read this and give you a little report on it. So, because this one intrigues me. It says the necrophiliac, but hopefully they don't mean like, I hope that doesn't mean a person who has sexually aroused by dead bodies. Let's hope it's not that. I don't think it is, though. So anyways, that is my book haul. Since the last one that I posted, it probably really will be a while before I get any more books now, because I have quite a few books that I really want to get through, and I have to slow down my spending on books. So yeah, but birthday month and everything, Okay, so anyways, yeah, that's all the books, and that's all I have to say.